Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the C Remastered patch notes and why this actually is super awesome. Now, I don't want to go overly in-depth into these patch notes because there's going to be a bunch of it's probably just bug fixes and stuff. Now, I have seen it. I will admit I'm a little bit late to doing this video. I've been busy with other things, but the reason I want to talk about it mainly is because this gives me hopes for the future of this game and potentially other C games coming down in the future. Now, if you don't know, I absolutely love this remaster. I've been playing. I've put about 50 hours into it. I've finished pretty much everything in Tiberian Dawn. I will admit it's all on casual, but I was like, I don't care. I just want to see the missions because when I was younger, I could never see all the missions because I wasn't very good at it. I wanted to see all the cutscenes. And now I've worked my way through Red Alert, pretty much. I've got to do some more of the Aftermath and Counter-Strike missions, but other than that, I've pretty much blitzed my way through it, unlocking all the bonus content. I'm having a really fun time with it, and when I heard that there was a patch coming out, I have read through these before, but there are some things I want to highlight to show that why I think this is going to be good going forwards, and I hope that they continue to listen, and I'm hoping that they're going to improve on the game in such a way that it really does feel like the original, but with like the even more quality of life things ticking the boxes. So today, or when it was posted, last week they were going to complete several of the top community requested features. They implement some additional quality of life improvements, which that's what you want for a remaster. Address many of the bugs and iterate on the quick match rule set. Cool. Below you'll find a full list of notes. Some higher level things. Stuttering issue. Now, I didn't have this, but apparently some people did. But the patch aims to improve the frame rate stuttering issue some people have been experiencing since launch. This issue has been complicated to address. Effectively, what we ended up having to do was refactor the way textures are loaded by the game and push the majority of that loading before you get into gameplay. This have two impacts. Loading overall game may take longer than before. Loading the first map take longer than before. To be honest, I never saw this, but this is the kind of stuff that I like to see, where they're like, the game was out and they probably did patch it with a little patch the week before, but they haven't just left it. And this is why I'm really excited, because if they're actually going through and going, well, we need to add this and we need to change this, then cool, great, perfect. These longer load times would be most seen after a fresh restart of the computer. While we understand this extra loading time may not be ideal, our testing indicates gameplay performance should be improved across the board, and felt this was a worthwhile trade. I mean, to be honest, the game does not take that long to load anyway. Like, they shouldn't be worried about that. It's because of how old the game is, essentially. It loads up super quick. We want to continue gathering feedback data on this issue, so if you've been experiencing a stuttering issue since the launch, please let us know. Cool. Mod compatibility. Because this patch includes updates to Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert, it's likely that previous mods will no longer be compatible with the updated version of the game. Modders will need to update their mods with the latest code and refresh the mods on Steam Workshop. Certain mods may also need to be repackaged to be compatible with the new texture process above, and we provided a script to assist with this. The root installed in the Command & Conquer Remastered collection in the folder. See, this is the fact that they're like totally fine with mods is also really cool. Like, I like the fact that they're trying to help out and say, hey, if they are broken, use this stuff here that we've written. This should fix the problem stuff. This is why this game feels like it's been it feels like it was being made by those companies rather than EA having their hands all over it. Once a mod has been updated on Steam Workshop, players will need to follow. There's all this stuff about it. I'm not too bothered about the mod stuff myself. I'm glad that it's there, and I'm glad people are having a great time with it. Obviously, I'm not that fussed. I don't play a lot of mods. I just like to play the base game. But great, the fact that they're like sorting it out and making people aware, fantastic. The kind of feedback I want to see. Alright, patch notes, new features. Private game lobbies. The host. Oh, see, this was the thing that confused me when we played online. Was like you had to keep kicking people. So this is great. This really should have been at launch. I think having it now, I'm like, but the fact they've added it in is good. Private game in the setup screen. Host can choose 4-digit passcode for the game. Private games will show an icon. Attempting to join a private game require the passcode. Host invited players will not need to enter the passcode. Added a player panel in-game to view player names, factions, team color status. This can be accessed for player sidebar. Added the ability to mute a player's chat while in game. This can be done from the new player panel and tapping the mute on next to it. Added the ability to overwrite save games. So this, excuse me, this is something I noticed. Note, Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert saved games names are not exclusive, so be aware overwriting save games from one title to another. Yeah, I noticed this now, because I was saving things a lot of the same, but it actually comes up now saying, are you sure you want to overwrite? Great, really useful. Custom missions can now be manually saved and loaded. Note, due to the underlying system, this will currently only work for manual saves via the pause menu and will not work for quick saving. I don't even know there was a quick save button. Added the ability to see your quick match stats and leaderboard position if you're not in the top 100. Complete at least 3 quick match. I've not played quick match, and to be honest, I don't really know if I wanna play online. I feel like it's a proper scary. Added the ability to choose your sub faction in Red Alert quick match games. That's cool. Added the ability to choose a random faction in custom games. That's also awesome. Added the support for Origin video broadcast. Added the jukebox to the... Oh yeah, this is great. Added the jukebox to the main menu options audio menu. You can now customize your playlist here and listen to its entirety without needing to load into an actual game. The jukebox won't override menu music, as the menu music is tightly connected with all the UI flows. Perfect. Great. I swear to God, like, my jukebox doesn't completely randomize all the time, but hey, you know, I love this feature. Great idea. Stick it on the menu so I can actually edit it. Quality of life improvements. The deploy hotkey will now apply to all items with the deploy cursor, including ungarrisoned troop carriers, laying mines, deploying the mad tank, and triggering the chrono tank. I don't even know what my deploy hotkey set to. Might be D. I'm not sure, but I did have issues with deploy anyway in this, where you're trying to click on a unit to deploy and it keeps double clicking and things. But I need to look that up, because that's probably going to make things a lot easier. Added the ability for multiple units to be queued on Tiberium Dawn repair facility, the same as Red Alert. That's great. I didn't even realise that that was a thing. Reduced the hard difficulty balance in Tiberium Dawn. We've effectively split the difference between normal mode and the launch version hard mode. If you happen to already beat missions on hard mode or somehow receive the achievements, then wear this with a badge of honour. Now, excuse me. Now, I know for a fact that the hard mode on that is brutally difficult. So it's cool that they've reduced that a bit. That's definitely going to make it more fun to play on hard, I guess, so it's not overly challenging to the point of not fun. Don Hayes needs getting back on that. Hard mode, playing through that. Adjusted how you cancel queued in progress units in the sidebar. The first cancel click will now pause the in-game progress unit. With the next click, cancelling items in the stack. This will allow for quicker pausing to manage economic cash flow. Great, perfect, ideal. Such a small thing, but awesome. Prioritised and reduced the cooldown of the Eva line. Our base is under attack. Okay, cool. So basically, you're saying is that that'll always be the thing you hear the most, being like, oh, your base is under attack, like, do something about it, rather than being like, you know, silos needed or something like that. Change the balance of being in low or zero power in Red Alert. There is now a maximum of a 4 times build time increase for being at 0 power, compared to roughly 27 times in the legacy title, which will ramp depending on the amount of power low power. I didn't realise just how. I mean, I think is it Red Alert saying? Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Red Alert, if you've got low power, you are in it's crazy. This is the kind of thing I like, where they're saying, hey, okay, so this legacy thing about having low power, this ain't so great. Maybe we just make it a bit slower, but not like awfully slower. I think that's awesome. That's the kind of changes, like quality of life changes, I like to see, because you're not affecting the game. Like, people in this day and age, people playing the game probably don't need that. They don't need to be hit with such a hard penalty. So I think it's a really good change. Build time tooltip will now update to reflect an increase in build time due to low power. Awesome. Added the ability to load a save game from the replay mission dialogue. I've never used that, but cool. There we go. This is probably the big one. We're experimenting with new harvester logic, where harvesters will now return to the original tile they harvested from and prioritize the fullest tile. This should help optimize harvester behavior within certain resource fields. Now, this is really cool. Like, I like the way that what they're doing with this. This is again one of those changes, because harvesters have got a mind of their own. They'll just go somewhere, end up getting attacked and getting messed up. Whereas the idea now is that whenever you send them, they'll go back there and then start harvesting those things. I think this is great. I would like to see some pathing things fixed for these. It might be difficult to do in that engine, but yeah, more harvester changes to make them a bit smarter. Made it so the middle and right click scrolling no longer removes a structure placement selection. I didn't even know that about that. Removed AI takeover from... This is also huge. Removed AI takeover from multiplayer games. Exiting the game will now destroy all your units and structures. This was a top community request to prevent the prolonged games. Yeah, if you watch the games that me, Jack, and they've played. As soon as someone leaves, the AI takes over, which is so stupid. Great change. Perfect. Really happy to see that. Removed the ready checkmark as a button in the multiplayer lobbies. You can now only ready up via the button in the bottom right corner, which just reflects the active state. Perfect. Added the command line mod debug that will disable the client instant server timeout when the debugger hits a breakpoint in the mod DLL. This command line will also allow the game to be paused and stepped through frame by frame with F1, F2. Cool. That sounds like fun if you wanted to like have an interesting look into it. Added the ability for turrets to stop force firing on the ground by using the guard command. I didn't even know like when you force fire with turrets you could, yeah, interesting. Must be a thing. But cool, at least you can stop them from doing it now. Adjusted disabling the profanity filter, so it will now also disable profanity in custom map names and custom mission hat briefings. Cool. Nice little change. Added an author field when custom maps are selected to highlight who created them. Also really good. The installation and intro logo movies must now be skipped with the escape key. This is to help ensure no one accidentally skips these meaningful videos on the first playthrough. Yeah. That would be nice if it was on all cutscenes actually. Now, there are a ton of bug fixes here as well. I don't necessarily want to go through all these because they're all very specific things. There's a lot here, so if you want to go check it out, you can see like this. Fix the crash if the aircraft was destroyed outside the map boundaries and stuff like that. There's tons. Fix mismatching tiles on these different maps and stuff. This is the stuff they implemented a week before this one. Increase the game speed in the quick match to normal to fast, which people prefer. I actually play on moderate, so I play on slower. Reduce the starting units to 0. Remove the aftermath units to quick match due to extreme balance issues. I need to know what gets added with aftermath. Might be the mad tank or something. Added 2 more maps in Tiberian Dawn rotation, which is good because I had none. Additional map pool adjustments on these. Adding Eye of Storm into Tiberian, adding 4 corners. Removing Path Beyond. I love Path Beyond. That's like one of the best. That is like the best map in Red Alert. Snowgun, Warlord's Lake, adding Arena Valley, Bullseye, North by Northwest. I've played on that one, I think. And things to come. Overall, we hope this update improves your experience with the Command & Conquer Remastered collection. Thanks for the ongoing support. Please continue to provide your feedback here on the subreddit, in social channels, and with our support teams. So, basically the reason why I wanted to go over this was to say, look, you know what, like these guys clearly want this game to be in a good state. I don't know what the current player base is now, but I know on launch it was about 42,000 people the first couple of days. So I'm really happy. I really hope this game sold well, and the fact that they're constantly up well, they've updated it now twice. I'm hoping that they continue to listen to feedback and continue to like patch things and improve things. Quality of life is the most important thing to me in a remaster. You know, you want to play a remastered game, you want the quality of life improvements because you want to play the game to a more modern standard. You don't want to play the same game you played 20 years ago with like awful controls and stuff. And I like the fact that this gives me hope that going forward we're going to get more patches. Might not be that often, but we will get more patches, and also it means that people are interested, and it also means there's a good chance that we're going to get other Command & Conquer games remastered. Tiberian Sun and Red Alert 2 would be a fantastic package. I'd happily pay for that if it's as long, you know, as long as like 30 to 40 pound. I would happily pay for that one because those are some really good games. More so Red Alert 2. Red Alert 2 is one of my favourite ones. And if they do the same treatment that they did with Command & Conquer and Red Alert to those two games, oh man, that's some hefty content you've got there. I love this remaster. I think it's one of the best remasters I've played in terms of in an RTS remaster. Yes, it still has problems with AI and the way that units move and work, but honestly, like, I know a lot of people have been shitting on this thing, but I still think it's a really solid remaster, and I would definitely recommend it if you want to play a different type of RTS than the stuff that's coming out now and kind of see where this thing came from, and you get a ton of content. But yeah, the patch notes are great. The more they just keep adding in stuff, the more they're actively listening to proper decent feedback, then the more excited I am, because I'm like, cool, this is not a here's the game, it's done, and then not address anything. This is actively they're listening and sorting out any problems that are occurring. So happy days. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video today. If you like the video, hit like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I know I'm, like I said, I'm late on this one, but I did want to cover it because I'm really to go over the fact that they are updating the game and keeping patching it, which is awesome. Excuse me. If you want to get involved on the Facebook and Twitter that we have, then the links will be down below. And until next video, I will see you then.